President Anderson, it is 7 o'clock.
Well, good evening. Time is now 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting of the Beloit City Council to order. Can I please get a roll call?
Vice President Keys.
Here.
Councilor Blakely. Councilor Blakely.
Why don't we skip her and come
Okay.
back?
Councilor Duncan.
Here.
Councilor Forbeck. Councilor Levy.
Here.
Councilor Preschel.
Here.
President Anderson.
Here.
Councilor Blakely. Councilor Forbeck. Councilor Blakely. Councilor Forbeck.
If either Councilor Blakely or Councilor Forbeck want to call in by phone. We've got some movement, just 1 second.
Okay.
President Anderson, perhaps we can move forward and then let Councilor Forbeck and Blakely join as they're able.
Yes, that sounds good. We'll move to item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. May we all stand at this time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
Hello.
America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is Nancy Forbeck. Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
Item 3 is special orders of the day and announcements. There are none. Item 4 is public hearings. 4A is the consideration of ordinance number 3727 to amend the table in section 6.1-1 of chapter 19 of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit pertaining to the zoning of medical facilities uses in the C1 and CBD-1 zoning districts. Planning Commission recommendation for approval 5-0. It is the first reading.
Thank you. Are there any members of the council that wish to recuse themselves now? They may do so at this time.
Council President, I would like to recuse myself as given my employer's involvement with this and potential perception of conflict.
Okay, Vice President Hughes is going to recuse. Is there any other member of the council that wishes to recuse?
This is Councilor Duncan. I will recuse from this item.
Okay, Councilor Duncan will recuse as well. We will notify you when this item has moved on. So at this time, we'll have Community Development Director Julie Christensen up to provide an overview of this item.
The medical facility ordinance was approved by City Council on September 20th of last year, and it outlined whether medical facilities were permitted, conditional, or prohibited in each zoning district. That ordinance made medical facilities conditional in C1 Office District and CBD1 Central Business District Core. As that was going through its process of approval, Plan Commission had made a recommendation that the C1, that medical facilities be permitted in those two districts. So we brought forward this proposed ordinance 3727, which would make the medical facilities permitted uses in both C1 and CBD1. This amendment was being proposed by the Plan Commission to address concerns raised by the Beloit Health System about 4 properties that they have medical facilities on. If they wanted to expand in the future, they would need a conditional use, and they preferred that it be a permitted use so that it was a yes instead of a maybe. This was discussed at the Plan Commission meetings on October 20th, November 3rd, December 8th, and December 21st. There is a summary of what happened at all those meetings included in the staff report. At the final meeting, they did recommend approval of the ordinance as it was submitted by a vote of 5-0. They discussed a lot of different options that were available to the city. And at the end of the day, they landed on recommending approval of this ordinance as it is written. Oh, and sorry, forgot that Tim McKevitt was involved in those discussions at multiple meetings, and his comments, there's a couple of comments included in the packet that he had submitted at the time. And so those are also in your packet as well.
Thank you. At this time, the public hearing is now open. Would the clerk please provide any public input received?
There was none received.
Thank you. Would anyone else wishing to speak in favor or oppose this item please come forward at this time?
Hello, my name is Tim McKevitt, 2318 Boulder Lane, Beloit. I'd come before the council tonight, first of all, to thank you for your service to our community. I never want that to go unsaid. I would like to voice my support on behalf of Beloit Health System for the proposed ordinance to amend the Code of General Ordinance pertaining to the zoning of medical facility uses in the C1 zoning district. A consequence of the city approving the zoning amendment on September 20th was to change the zoning of some of our existing Beloit Health System medical clinics from permitted uses by right to conditional uses. The action taken by the city to change Beloit Health System's vested zoning rights harmed the health system and subsequently, we believe, our community by impeding our ability to provide necessary services to expand, to meet the community needs, to recruit and retain physicians, and to provide care like COVID testing and vaccinations. We believe, as stated in our previous testimony, that the zoning amendment approved by the City Council on September 20th was contrary to the city's best interest. We, of course, respect the council's decision to make this, approve this ordinance. We do, however, ask that you correct some of the negative impact on the health system and subsequently, we believe, on the community of this ordinance by approving this proposed amendment, which returns Beloit Health System medical facilities to the status we had prior to September 20th. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else wish to speak in favor or oppose this item at this time? Second call? Third call? The public hearing is now closed. May I have a motion to lay this item over?
Moved by Levy. Second by Preschel.
Motion by Levy, second by Preschel. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 That motion carries.
President Anderson, perhaps we can
I
do.
have a question, President Anderson.
Yes.
Was that majority? We had a couple that recused themselves. Was 3 enough to carry that to lay it over, or did we need one of the other two?
I must not heard Councilor Forbeck. Let's do a roll call. I'm sorry. Can we go back and do a roll call, please?
Counselor Blakely. Counselor Forbeck.
Aye.
Counselor Levy.
Aye.
Counselor Preschel.
Aye.
President Anderson.
Aye.
So that is 4-0. Motion carries.
wait for Vice President Keys and Councilor Duncan to return to the room.
This is Councilor Duncan. I'm present.
Okay, we're waiting on Vice President Keys to return, and then we'll resume the meeting. Okay, see Vice President Keys.
Is she back?
Vice President Keys, can you hear us?
President Anderson, can you have her check her mic for us, please?
Vice President Keys, can you check your mic for us, please?
There you go, Brittany. You're muted now, but your mic is back. Just unmute yourself.
I'm back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5 is public comments.
We've reached the point in the agenda for citizens to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. Council members may not act on any requests at this meeting, but may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from any personal attacks of any kind. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form or submit an email prior to the meeting. Madam Clerk, were there any public comments submitted prior to the meeting?
Yes, we have one. From Susan Adams, President of the League of Women Voters from Beloit, 703 Milwaukee Road. I am here on behalf of the League of Women Voters. We are watching and waiting with interest to see what progress is being made with regard to the strategic plan is sustainability. Sustainability may be the wrong term. Perhaps I should say climate change, because that is truly what we mean. We have heard that there will be a public event about sustainability in February and are wondering about the goals of this meeting, its purpose, when it will be, and how it will be advertised. Perhaps it should be included in the water bill that everyone receives. We hope it will include an opportunity for citizen input and will tell us what the city's plan is to involve citizens in a climate action plan. We want to know what a timeline for developing a climate action plan will be. The news over the past few weeks is really bringing home how vital such a plan is. Wildfires in Boulder in December, heavy rains helping to unleash volcanoes in Indonesia. What's next? We look forward to assisting in this effort. The city cannot do it alone. Citizens need to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public that wish to address the council this evening? If so, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Second call. Third call. Public comment is now closed.
Item 6 is the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Would any council member like anything removed from consent agenda?
Item 6C, please.
Vice President Keys has requested item 6C be removed from the consent agenda. Would any council member like anything else removed from the consent agenda? If not, the consent agenda consists of items 6A, 6B, and 6D. Do you have a motion to approve?
So move, Councilor Duncan.
Second,
Motion by
Nancy Ford.
Duncan. Second by Forbeck. Any discussion? If not, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Vice President Keys,
Aye.
Councilor Blakely, Councilor Duncan,
Aye.
Councilor Forbeck,
Aye.
Counselor Levy,
Aye.
and Counselor Preschel.
Aye.
President Anderson.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6C is consideration of Resolution 2022-001, approving an amendment to the bylaws of the Community Development Authority of the City of Beloit. Community Development Authority recommendation for approval was 7-0.
Community Development Director Julie Christensen will present.
So the CDA had created bylaws in the 1980s, and they had not been revisited since that time. We took a look at them more recently, and we made updates related to references to the city ordinance related to the CDA, updated it to reflect the current programs at the Housing Authority and to reflect current ordinances and policies. And this was reviewed by CDA at its last two meetings and was recommended for approval 7-0 on December 15th. This is really just kind of a housekeeping matter. It was something that kind of dropped off our radar for a while, and we were just updating them to keep them current with what we're actually doing as a CDA.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Nancy Forbeck, I so move.
Motion by Preschel, second by Forbeck. Any discussion?
I just would like to make a comment and then potentially a question. Excuse me. So, as you mentioned, it hadn't been revisited for quite some time, and I just, as far as the like involvement of the public with the updates, where was it? Can you just discuss the process of the how the updates were brought forward? Was it the CDA in general, or staff, or?
Staff made changes to the bylaws to reflect current practice and current ordinances. We brought it to the CDA at two separate meetings for discussion. It's not required to be noticed to the public. It really impacts the operations of the CDA. But the two meetings were publicly noticed. No one from the public besides the CDA participated in review.
Okay. And so I'm just looking at the section 4 with the order of business. I just want to make sure that as far as with the citizens' opportunity to be active and be able to put items on the agenda, would that be able to fall under the item 6, the such other matters as authorized by law?
Citizens don't have the authority to just add things to the agenda. They can come and speak under public comment.
I apologize. I meant the citizen, the CDA members.
We set the agenda with the chairperson. I mean, that's how we deal with committees. So adding, I guess, we don't have an item for future agenda items. If they wanted to add an agenda item, they could contact the chair or myself and get them added.
Okay. I just was looking through the bylaws and the ordinances, and it just wasn't clear on that process beyond the get the notification 10 days ahead. So it's again through the chair, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. No further question or discussion.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion?
President Anderson, this is Counselor Duncan. I just wanted to say thank you to Julie and the staff. I read through it thoroughly, and I really like the language that was cleaned up in there and how it's meeting code. So I just appreciate all the effort and hard work on that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions or discussion? At this time, since there is no more question or discussion, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Vice President Keys,
Aye.
Counselor Duncan,
Aye.
Counselor Forbeck,
Aye.
Counselor Levy,
Aye.
Counselor Preschel,
Aye.
President Anderson.
Aye.
6-0, that passes. Item 7 is licenses. There are none. Item 8 is ordinances. 8A is consideration of ordinance number 3740, annexing the property located at 1022 Froebel Drive to the city of Beloit. Plan Commission recommend for approval 5-0. This is the first reading.
The Community Development Director, Julie Christensen, will present.
Mary Shepherd has submitted a petition for direct annexation for the property located at 1022 Froebel Drive in the town of Beloit. The applicant resides in the existing single-family dwelling at that address, and the existing septic system is operational but will eventually need replacement. You may recall that the city extended a sanitary sewer main to 1014 Froebel Drive when they had a failing septic system back in 2018. This sewer line runs in front of her property, and she would just like to be annexed so that basically she's prepared when her sewer does fail that she can connect. So she's just being proactive and thinking ahead. And so this is on Plan Commission recommended approval 5-0, and this is on your agenda just for first reading tonight.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to lay this item over.
I'll make the
I'll
motion.
move.
Duncan.
Motion by
Second,
Duncan.
Forbeck.
Second by Preschel on that one. At this time, is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Vice President Keys,
Aye.
Counselor Duncan,
Aye.
Counselor Forbeck,
Aye.
Counselor Levy,
Aye.
Counselor Preschel,
Aye.
and President Anderson.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, I think
This
Ms.
is Counselor Blakely. I've called back in. Can you hear me at this time?
Yep, Counselor Blakely, how do you vote?
Thank you. Aye.
Okay, that is 7-0. Number 9 is appointments. There are none. Number 10 is counselor activities and upcoming events. Vice President Keys.
Vice President Keys tonight.
Well, thank you, President Anderson. I want to start by wishing everyone a happy new year, and I hope that everyone had a safe and happy holiday. I know that this year has come with a lot of challenges, and there continues to be challenges, especially surrounding COVID. Looking at COVID in our area and region, it remains quite serious with very high positivity rates and high positive numbers of tests kind of throughout the community, and really continuing to stress the hospital and healthcare system. So one thing that I just want to continue to highlight, and I know it's been highlighted before, is that individuals who've gotten their vaccines and their boosters as able, if they do come down with the Omicron variant, it does seem to be much less severe illness. So I continue to encourage everyone to get vaccinated and boosted if able. Please continue to wear masks inside just to try and protect everyone. This variant does seem to be more contagious. And if anything, just to please do this to support our local health systems and local healthcare workers. The other thing I want to comment on is that the issue of youth homelessness that I brought up previously, unfortunately, it does continue to get worse. And I was in contact with individuals from the Beloit Area Task Force on Homelessness, and the number of youth has increased from when I first brought it up under less than 350 to we're at 400 today within the city of Beloit. And this to me is quite startling. We are about to hit one of the coldest snaps of the winter. And I, as an individual, do feel that there is some great opportunities that could be taken looking at other communities, how they have embraced the same issue with some ARPA potentials. And I appreciate that the city has looked at partnering with the county, but I really would hope that we could bring this forward as an item of discussion. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Vice President Keys. Councilor Blakely?
No report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Duncan?
Thank you, President Anderson. First, I want to give special thanks to our Department of Public Works and Beloit Snow Removal crew for working day and night to keep our roads safe for travel. Please know we appreciate your hard work. And heartfelt thanks to all our frontline workers, health professionals, first responders, educators, and everyone who has been diligently working through the challenges of this pandemic. Thank you for your service. Now for my report. The grand opening and ribbon cutting for the State Line Boys and Girls Club was on Tuesday, December 28th at their brand new facility, which is located at 202 Maple Avenue. Congratulations to Mark Grand, the State Line Boys and Girls Club Board of Directors and staff, and all who were involved in that effort. I am proud that we also played a vital role in making this endeavor a reality. The city of Beloit sold the previously city-owned land to the State Line Boys and Girls Club for $1. This wonderful project will provide a lasting impact in our community. Next, I want to congratulate Beloit Police Chief Andre Sales for being named one of the Wisconsin's most influential Black leaders by Madison 365. Thanks for all you do, Chief Sales, and keep up the great work. In closing, I want residents to be aware that we are at a high level of community transmission relative to COVID-19, which is why we are having our televised council meeting virtually tonight. So I encourage all residents to please wear a mask, take the necessary precautions, and limit your contact with anyone who is not part of your household. If you feel sick, please stay at home and away from others. And if you have symptoms of COVID-19, even if you're vaccinated, contact your doctor or seek testing. That said, the Beloit Public Library is hosting monthly COVID-19 vaccine clinics, and Beloit Health System will have a walk-in COVID vaccine clinic for children 5 and up on January 13th, February 17th, March 17th, and April 21st from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. No appointment is necessary. Together, we will slow the spread of this virus. Please be safe. This ends my council report for this evening.
Thank you, Councilor Duncan. Councilor Forbeck?
Well, at the risk of getting people bored with this subject, I too want to just emphasize how important it is to simply, I think, not leave your house if that's possible. We're all tired of this, every one of us. But Ken and I have 7 children who are extraordinarily worried with the state of what's happening in Rock County and Wisconsin and the Midwest and the United States right now. It is triple right now what it was a year ago, our COVID is. So be wise, please. And that ends my comments.
Thank you, Councilor Portback. Councilor Levy?
No report.
Thank you, Councilor Levy. Councilor Preschel?
No report.
Thank you. I'll keep mine relatively brief. I do want to thank our staff for adjusting. I'll share a bit of personal news. I did test positive for COVID. There's a lot of community transmission going on right now. It's really important that we do everything we can to stop the spread. I've not left my house in several days. If you do feel sick, get a test. If you're able to get your hands on an at-home test, please get one and take it to at-home test. Otherwise, there's several community testing sites you can go to. We have to do everything we can to stop the spread. I know this has been going on a long time. I know we're all tired of it, but we got to keep doing what's right. So if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, haven't gotten your booster, please go do those things. I'm very happy that I had my vaccinations because I don't know what this could have been like. This experience hasn't been too bad for me, but it could have been much worse. So I'm thankful for the vaccine. Please go get it. Please don't wait till it's too late. That ends my comment tonight.
Item 11 is city manager presentation. There is none this evening. Item 12 is reports from boards and city officers. There are none. Item 13 is adjournment.
So
We have a
moved.
motion by Vice President Keys. Is there a second?
Second by Nancy Porbeck.
Second by Portback. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, we're now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.